What I'm going to be hitting heavy this morning is some more of the ins and outs on Samsara. I will tell you, we've been talking about implementation dates, and they did a field test on the integration between our dispatch software and that. They had some problems, so we're not going to be going yet. When the time comes, when we're going to change over to Samsara, I will send a fleet message out both on Samsara and on a Cortex. When you guys go to, when we go to do that changeover, it's real important that we're not technically running two different logs. You probably notice as the cameras have been going in that there's been a wire that comes up alongside of the A-pillar with a little box on the end of it. That's your Cortex box. So when the time comes, we change over, and I'll include the instructions on that on the email. You're basically just going to disconnect that from the ECM hookup and put that in the glove box. That's it. You'll still have the availability to see a Cortex, but it will not be interfacing with the truck, i.e. it would not be a legal log. Okay, so, and we'll talk about that. I'm sure we'll have a lot of conversation about that when the time comes, but I want to alert you guys to that. When, for those of you who can actually see the screen, and hopefully most everybody can, because there's going to be a lot of pictures on this. You log in to Samsara. On the very top, right below your name, it's going to have your whatever your duty status is. And this, of course, is off duty. I'm just starting my day. You'll see that I've got 43 hours and 15 minutes up there. Okay, that is basically, tell me how many hours that I've actually got on that duty status. So we've had drivers in the past with a Cortex saying, well, I'm taking my sleeper berth. I don't know how long I've been in it. Whatever duty status you're in, all you got to do is just bring your device back to life, and it's going to show you exactly how long you've been in that duty status. Now, if you're doing a combination for a 10 off duty and sleeper, it's just going to give you that last duty status. If you went off duty, then you went sleeper, you're only going to see the sleeper berth time of that. So you want to be aware of that. If you have any messages, the little envelope on top will have a digit there indicating how many messages you have. When we send a message out, that message will remain in that queue until you log in, and then you go in and retrieve it. With a Cortex, if you're not logged in, you don't get that message. So when we were doing a fleet message with a Cortex, we'd have times where drivers would miss that fleet message. Won't be the case anymore. Okay, so that'll kind of help you out there. You're going to see your 6 different tiles there: hours of service, DVIR, routes, documents, vehicle, and team driving. We've only got one team in the fleet, so you guys aren't going to have to worry about that. The hours of service and everything else will kind of go through. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see vehicle. This is where you're going to select a vehicle. Then you're going to have add a trailer and your shipping document. If your shipping document does not appear, you need to put it in there. So your DOT legal, okay, because we have to have that, and that's just your manifest number. At this point now, I'm going to, I've selected my power unit. And what you do when you select the power unit, and I should have mentioned that on that previous, you just select vehicle, and you put in your number for your trailer or tractor, whatever one you're doing. In this case, would be the tractor. Put your tractor number in, and then it's going to go down the list and search for that number. Right below the number that you entered is going to be that same tractor number with a little white box. You select that. Now you've claimed that tractor. You do the same thing with the trailer. You're going to claim your trailer in that same way. And now all of this we can still do as an off-duty function. It has not required you to go on duty yet. It's going to require you to go on duty when you go to do the DVIR. So right now I've got the, I'm going to create a DVIR, and you can see down below on the right-hand side the previous pre-trips and post-trips that were done on this particular vehicle. In this one here, it's a training unit 999, and that's what we use for training, and we use 998 for our trailer. So if you want to go in and take a look in advance, you can go in there and actually log into that. I will tell you that I have to get a proper VIN number in 999 training unit, because it will not allow that unit to complete a pre-trip because it's not a valid VIN. The trailers don't have VINs in them on that. So it's much easier to get in and do that. And I'm going to handle that with Jeff tomorrow morning since he's on equipment. So you're going to select your create the DVIR. And first thing it's going to say, hey, you got to go on duty. Doing a pre-trip or a post-trip is always an on-duty function. So you've got to go ahead and do that. So you select the on-duty. Now you're in an on-duty status. Your day has officially started. Right-hand side, choose the inspection type. Is this a pre or post-trip? You have to select which one you're doing. And you will have to do 2 inspections every day. Now, you see down below it says take walk-around photos. We got front, back, driver's side, and passenger side of the tractor. All 4 sides. Oh gosh, this is sure a pain in the butt. Why do I got to do this? You document what it looked like when you did your post trip. You come back to work and or come back out in the truck stop or whatever, and there's damage to your vehicle. We've got evidence of what it looked like beforehand. We do the same thing with the trailer. You know, we've always in the past, when you pick up a trailer, you know, if there's any damage, take a picture of it. Well, now you're going to take pictures of them. And as you go down below, you'll see where it says add vehicle defects further down below. And right there, you select that, and it's going to give you the drop-down box like we're all familiar with on our DVIR, and you're going to select. So you got a crack in the windshield. You're going to hit cracked windshield, and it's going to ask you to take a picture. It's going to attach that picture automatically, that DVIR. Jeff and I and Wayne and David are all going to get that picture. So now we know exactly what that defect is when you have it. So now it's no longer, well, you know, I've got a bad tire. Okay, now you're going to take pictures of that tire. And that's going to be attached to the DVR. So now we know exactly what's going on. So it's going to help us get ahead of the game on things. If you've got questions about it, maybe it's, I just want to let you know that maybe this tire is starting to chunk, but it's still safe to drive. You can still do that. Just do it that same exact way. But you're going to take pictures of all 4 sides of the vehicle. Then you're going to select next. And you got to do, like I say, the pre-trip, and it's going to ask you at the bottom, safe to drive. If you see that it's an off color, that it's a light blue instead of a darker blue, it's not going to let you proceed. This system will not let you forget something. It's going to go ahead and automatically take you through all that. So now we've done all that. Now we're at our hours of service here. And here on the left, this is what your tablet's going to look like going down the road. And as you can see your time to your half-hour break is due. Remember, it's 8 hours of drive time, not 8 hours of on duty. Your drive time, your shift time, and your cycle time. So you're going to see everything right there on one screen. You're going down the road, that's the screen that you're seeing. So that's going to help you now to know exactly at all times where you are on everything. And that's been a real big plus. I've got a lot of great comments on that. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the 6 duty statuses. Because we have selected a tractor, we have availability to driving, personal conveyance, and yard move. If you just go on duty and do not select the equipment, you're only going to have off-duty, sleeper, and on-duty. Okay? Whatever the blue box is, that's your current duty status. Okay? So that way you kind of know what you got going on there. Now, we get into a roadside inspection. With a Cordex, you guys know that on roadside inspection, the officer can only see the last 7 days. It's that way by design. They're probably the only one in the industry that does it that way. Most of them will do where like this, where a driver has to put in a PIN number to lock down that tablet and get it ready for an inspection. It's 4 digits of your own choosing, does not matter. You put your 4-digit code in and you hit the lock and continue, and it's going to bring up the next the slide that's on the right-hand side, which is ready for inspection. Okay, so now we're ready. We can give that tablet to the officer for his roadside inspection. Now, when you on the log page down at the bottom, and I'm going to show you here in just a second, it's going to show you one side says logs, and that's the one that gives you unlimited access for you as a driver. The other side says roadside. And that's what we're doing here is that roadside inspection one, okay? So this is what it's going to look like. Now, you know, if you're looking at this right now on a smartphone, I'm sorry, it's going to be very, very small. But it's going to give you on the right-hand side here all the vehicle information, your driver's license number, your load information, and your actual graph of your log. As he pages on down, you're going to see it's got your recap over here on the side, so he can see your last 7 days, how long your hours have been in the last 7 days, your total hours available today, total hours worked today, any malfunctions, any unassigned driving time, any edits. When you log in, if there's any unassigned driving time, it's going to ask you if that's yours and to claim it or not claim it. And it tracks it all. In a roadside inspection, it's going to show an officer, hey, we've got some unassigned driving time here. Now, up here at the top, it's got the equipment, and here we've got our training unit, the 999, which is what we used in this case. Up at the top, you see a little item that says transfer. And that's where we're actually going to get into in just a moment, where the officer will actually look at how to transfer those logs. And I'll show you that here in just a second. But once you are into the log, and right here's the information like I was talking about, we just paged up a little bit. There's your transfer. Here you see the ELD in-cab materials. Under DOT regulations, the driver has to have instructions on how to run the unit, and the officer has to be able to have instructions on how to transfer the logs. That's where you're going to find it right there. So when you select that ELD in-cab materials, you're going to see driver application manual in English and French. For those of you who speak French, you can go ahead and look at that one. If not, select English. And it's going to have the latest version of the driver's basically handbook on how to run the system. So everything is right there at your fingertips. And then down below, you see the transfer page information, DOT English or Canadian English or Canadian French, for those who are running over there toward Ontario, which right now is nobody. But the information is there. Now, when the officer selects transfer, this is what he's going to get. Of course, the standard wireless web services, which is the DOT, email to the DOT. Now, with this system, the officer has the option to email it to himself, and he can do that, and that's totally his option. Or for those of you as owner-operators, you want to know how many days you've worked and whatever for tax purposes, you can load your logs to yourself. You don't have to call me anymore to load them down quarterly for you. You can do it yourself. So that's a nice little option there. And then on the next slide over, now they're all done with the inspection. They hit the little blue arrow up at the top left, and that's going to bring it back to the PIN number that you have to put in order to go back to your normal logs. So while the officer has the system in his control, it's all locked down. You're the one who has to unlock that system. And he can't make you unlock it and give it back to him. That is illegal. Okay, so make sure you lock that thing down before you give it to him. Otherwise, he can go back as far as he wants to, and you can't stop it. Okay, so very, very, very important with that. So now we get to the end. We get to the end of our day, and we are going to do our post-trip inspection. Again, same thing. We're going to take our pictures of all 4 sides of our tractor. We're going to select that it's a post-trip inspection. We can add our defects. And we're doing this all on duty. It is an on-duty function under DOT regulations. So we want to make sure that that's exactly what we're doing. Okay. Now, when you go to log out, you're going to go ahead and push off duty. Now, anytime you give up control of that vehicle, be it when you get into your home terminal or you're on the road going into a shop, if you're giving up control of that vehicle, you don't just log off. You want to log off and sign out. So you're seeing little stickers like the one on the right, the bottom left-hand corner of your window on the driver's door. And it says, if you did not see this, you did not log out. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't do that, you just go off duty and that truck gets moved because the shop's going to work on that truck and you're getting a 34, you ain't getting a 34. Because as soon as that truck hits 5 miles an hour, it's going to go on duty driving and it cannot be changed, period. And you think, boy, that's a lot tougher than a Cortex. Actually, it's the law. So if you do not log out, be it for a 10, a 7, 8 on your sleeper, a 2 or 3 for an off duty, but if you're going to do a split, a 34, you've got to go off duty and sign out. Make sure you do that, because I cannot change it. Not that I won't, I can't. So if you're going off duty, that's just, I'm taking my 10. I'm not giving control of my vehicle to anybody else. Then you're fine going off duty. Not a problem. But do not give up control, anybody access to the keys to that truck without doing that. Now, one of the things we've done with this is all of our mechanics have Samsara on their phones. And so we've asked them, when they go to pull a truck into the shop, that they claim that truck. Basically, they're going to log in and they're going to do the on duty and they're going to claim that vehicle. I showed Jack this morning, and by the way, I'm happy to sit down with any of you guys and take you through individually if you'd like to on this. We have a demo unit and we can just do it. And Denver and Salt Lake can also use that same demo unit numbers and log in up here. That's one of the things with the system. I was able to log into one of our trucks in Salt Lake from Billings. You don't have to be in the truck. So when the shop grabs that truck, they can go ahead and they can claim that truck, and it'll bring up a big notice saying, hey, this truck is being used by somebody else. Well, obviously, that somebody else is not in the truck. So he can go ahead and claim that truck. And now if that driver forgot to log out, it's going to kick that driver off. And that'll save those hours. But don't put it in that position. Don't let your break and your legality depend on somebody else. You've got to take control of it. Okay? So make sure you do that. And if you don't see that, you don't have it. Now, I talked last month about under the document section, which is the bottom right-hand tile. And we have things in there for roadside inspections. We have for citations. We have for an accident. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have cell service, you're going to go into documents, create a new document, and you're going to hit accident. And it's going to take you step by step of everything that I would always ask you over on the phone. It's going to take you through that entire process. Now, one of the things we talk about in an accident scene is when you get out of the truck, take pictures of license plates that are around you, of people that are in the cars, in case they happen to witness it, and then we can track them down via the plate. You can take those pictures without opening up that accident app. They'll just go into the gallery on either your cell phone or on the tablet, depending on what you're using. And then when the officer says, go sit in the truck, now you can go ahead and you can put all the rest of your pictures, claim them out of the gallery and put them in that app. And as soon as you hit service, it sends me that entire report. Sends me all your pictures, everything that's in there. And there's 15 steps that you have to do at an accident scene. And that's regardless of the severity of the accident. If a customer damages your rear reefer unit when they're offloading you, that's an accident. We use that same app. It's going to ask you, have you contacted safety? Yes or no. You hit no, it's going to give you my cell phone number. So everything is right there. Everything you need is on that app. Now, also, Denver and Salt Lake, and I have them here in Billings, we have the Samsara driver notes. So this is basically a Reader's Digest version of everything we've been talking to you guys on training for the Samsara. So we have them in Denver and Salt Lake. If they went down on a transfer yesterday, they're down there now. If not, they'll be in your boxes for next week. Billings are going to be in your boxes here yet today. That way you've got all the exactly how to run everything on that system. One of the nice things with this system as well, as many of you know, if you call me and I say, well, I'm not at home, I have to get back to a computer before I can look at what's going on with your log and be able to tell you what's going on. With Samsara, that is not the case. Anywhere I have cell service, I can look, and just as if I was in the office, I can look at your logs. I can help you with any of that stuff. So I'm going to be able to give you guys a higher level of service than we've been able to in the past. So, with this, we can see where all the trucks are, all of this stuff, reefer units, the whole 9 yards. So anything Jeff and I can do in the office, we can do on our phones. So again, we can help you guys out. Call us. Let us know if you need some help, especially when we're first getting going. Even though we've gone through the training and you do the hands-on, you may have to have some refresher. Just give a call. I can log in. I can see exactly what's going on, like I say, and I can coach you guys through it, okay?